Hello?
Do you hear me, Miracle?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Let me put on my camera.
I see you. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I was slightly late because I was trying to fix issue with the telescope in the. So, nice to connect with you. Um, you've been, I've seen your name a lot in plenty of places recently. You've been also at the Explore Scientific talk. You gave a talk
Yes.
there, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
stopped there.
Good. Excellent. Hi. So this is an introduction talk to discuss, to know each other and to know a bit what we do. I know a
Yes.
bit what you do. I want to hear from you. What's the
Okay.
goal and what you're doing? The big pictures. The moment. Yeah, let's do that. Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. So, although I have a slide to present all the things I do, have a slide to present. Can I present it?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you in Nigeria right now?
Yes, I'm in Nigeria right now, but my project
Okay.
focuses on Africa. Okay. So,
Okay.
the name of my organization is the Pan African Citizen Science E-Lab. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be discussing. So it was founded in 2020, December 4th.
Okay.
Okay, so the aim is to promote hands-on activities in astronomy and space science through citizen science and soft astronomy research in Africa. So as a means of you know of fostering space exploration and engaging the public in space
Mm-hmm.
activities. So and how we do that is by collaborating with organizations in the global north and bringing those opportunities in Africa. That is exactly what we do. Those space
Okay.
activities, we bring them from global north to Africa. And all of our projects are done online. So we use computers and we analyze data.
Like,
So
okay.
so all of our projects are suitable for everybody, regardless of age,
Mm-hmm.
professional affiliation, levels. Everybody, so far you are able to operate computers, you can participate in our project. So um, we have primary project and we have secondary projects. So in our primary project, we have about five primary projects, which include asteroid search, exoplanet research, and other ones. I'm going to talk about them now. So in the asteroid
Mm-hmm.
search, we collaborate with International Astronomical Search Collaboration. So here we search for asteroids that have not been detected before, okay,
Okay.
so that they can be cataloged for monitoring, so that events like this will not happen. Asteroid bombarding
Yeah.
Earth. So
Mm-hmm.
we are helping to detect these asteroids. So we use the astrometrical software for this research. And here is how to detect asteroids in the software. It's an open, it's a free software. It's not you don't have to pay for it. So the data we use is from the Penn stars and the Catalina Sky Survey. These two telescopes gather the most asteroid data in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So they send the data to this group, International Astronomical Research Collaboration. So we are part of their regional collaborators. So we engage African entities in the research. We have so many organizations that we engage in this research. So this is where our teams download their asteroid data from their team page.
Mm-hmm.
They download the data, they analyze it with the astrometrical software, and submit it back through this website. So this is just a demonstration of how
Okay.
the whole thing goes. So, and how we do that is that we use recorded videos. We have recorded videos on our project. We also offer live training to our members. So far, we have discovered up to 30 asteroids. About
Mm-hmm.
60 of our citizen scientists discovered them, and we have hundreds of preliminary discoveries that are yet to be confirmed. So here is the academic calendar for the asteroid search. We started this August for this new academic year, and it's going to end by next year in May. So in the
Okay.
exoplanet research, we help to refine the mid-transit time of already discovered exoplanets so that future missions like the James Webb Space Telescope can study them again, for in detail, because the Kepler missions and the test missions that discover those exoplanets, their periods are not perfect. So we are helping to refine the periods of these
Okay.
exoplanets, and we use the exotic software for that, and we submit it to the American Association of Variable Star Observers. So we have three sources of data. We have Exoplanet Watch. You submit your email to the NASA group. They send you data. We also have access to the micro observatory. We use it to schedule missions, exoplanet missions, and we capture data. We also use the Large Congress Observatory for the research. So, like the asteroid search, we have recorded video. We also offer live training sessions. So, in this endeavor, we um we want our citizen scientists to be part of scientific publications. Okay, so for being citizen scientists, they do not have a professional level of astronomy. So we sought for research they can do even without professional level of astronomy. And one of them is the double star research. So they participate in updating the position angle and separation of double stars because they're always changing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so they updated, they write papers on their research, and they are published at the Journal of Double Star Observation. So far we have written up to 12 manuscripts. We started this year. We have written up to 12, and we have about four of them have been published. So we are hoping. So we use the micro observatory. Sorry, use the large scale observatory for the research. So here, this is going to help enable our citizen scientists to interact with astronauts aboard the International Space Station. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to do it with Zoom. With Zoom, they're going to interact with the astronaut. We applied for this year on February and on April, and we were shortlisted. So I want to be the
Okay.
first organization that's going to do it in Africa. Okay, so then here we train our citizen scientists how to process space images. Okay, space images from the James Webb Space Telescope, the Large Scale Observatory, and the Hubble Space Telescope. So we have recorded videos on all of that. And here, now this is very important because this drew me to a particular post you made about telescope. So here we
Mm-hmm.
know we have a large connection across Africa. We are working with different groups, including teachers. Okay, so these teachers they need this telescope for teachers training program. So, and because of our connection, we connect with these outside organizations to get telescope for them. So we work with the GMPS Graded. He donates telescopes to outreach people around the world. So he donates telescopes to us, and so we also work with AFIRS. They donate telescope to us. So we have so far we have donated 5 telescopes to different about 5 countries, and Gene promised to give us extra 7 from now till
Okay.
next year. Yeah. So in the SLU telescope, we use SLU for life observation. So we use it to observe the moon, the sun. Okay, this is just for outreach purposes, to inspire people on how to use a robotic telescope. Most importantly, we use it to observe the eclipse. Eclipse. This
Uh-huh.
happened in North America. We observed it right from Africa. So here is the sites of the telescopes across the world. The sites in Chile, in Canary Island, and in Australia. So, we have been doing this for the past 4 years. For the past 4 years. So, for the first time, we issued a survey to our to the team leaders because we work in team. We work with team. I work with groups. So I issued them
Mm-hmm.
surveys to assess how our project is benefiting them. So from the survey, we recorded about 691 citizen scientists from about 45 countries in Africa, although there are about 54 countries. So we are still spreading. So we have about 70 groups. Now, we categorize the groups into A, B, C. A represent national entities, which include national space agencies, national observatories, national organizations, or national education organizations. So, and there are about 15 of them. B represent university groups, and C represent other private amateur astronomy groups, including secondary schools. So this is the gender identities of the groups. And here is the education levels. Okay, we have secondary school, bachelor's, master's, PhD. And
Mm-hmm.
here are the projects. We have about four of our projects are active. The other three were recently incorporated, but Asteroid Search has been with us for the past 4 years. So Asteroid Search is the most participated on. So we are still, engaging others in the rest of the projects. Then here is the year of participation. The number has been increasing year by year. Number has been increasing. We're still in 2024. In fact, we have more recruits in 2024. So if we plug the data, it is going to make it to go high. So here is the geographical zone of each of the citizen scientists we have from North America. There are five geographical zones in Africa. We have North Africa,
Mm-hmm.
East Africa, West Africa. So we have been engaging people from those places. So here's a map of Africa showing the network, our networks across Africa. We have almost covered the whole of Africa, just remaining about 8 countries. 8 countries. And December 4th is going to make it 4 years. So we hope to cover the whole of Africa even before our fourth anniversary. So our projects are contributing to sustainable development goals, about six of them of the sustainable development goals. So and we have written papers. We have written papers on this. So are they undergoing peer review? So when it get published, I'm going to send it to you because I detailed every single thing right from how we started to our present endeavors. So that is all about Pascal Lab.
Good. Impressive. Okay, I have a plenty of questions.
Okay.
So, so first of all, this is great. What you're doing is exactly the kind of work that I wish I had the time to do. So I'm glad you're doing it. So you know I'm partially African. I'm from Réunion Island. I'm from the island close to Madagascar. You map rest in astronomy in Africa for quite a long time. Um, so Unistellar is a private company that
Okay.
develop telescopes. You know that, right? Like these
Yeah.
small
Yeah.
telescopes. So this is the Odyssey,
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
we have another model called the Eviscope 2, which I have here. It's bigger, and Eviscope 1. The goal of our company has been always to democratize astronomy.
Okay.
But democratizing astronomy has been difficult because the telescopes are relatively expensive,
Yeah.
typically $4,000, $2,000. So they're not like cheap telescope that we can give in the hand of people and forget about them. So what we have been trying to do is to find partners in different area. So
Okay.
they're in charge of basically developing the network in Africa, in the continent or the countries. I'm trying not to go myself to every places because I don't have neither the time or also the desire, and also because I think that it's always important that the people in each area take ownership for the project and they talk to the people that they know in their language or their style, of course, and having a French American person like me coming to some countries to explain to everybody how telescope works. So I'm glad we have connected because I think we could work together in that. So
Yeah.
what the goal of the company has been to develop to make astronomy easy and accessible. So meaning that with this telescope you can see you do astrophotography live, so you can see galaxy nebulae in color. So people love it because of that. But there is another part which has been developed with the institute called the SETI Institute,
Okay.
which is basically the citizen science part of the telescope. So with this telescope, you can do citizen science, you can observe asteroids, you can observe comets and measure the activity, the transit of exoplanet, transient double stars, supernovae, and so on. And you can do satellites as well. So we
Okay.
have a very large number of citizen science program with these telescopes.
Okay.
Um, what we do is that when you get a telescope, you're part of the network. So after a while, you register in your telescope in the science mode, and then we send you a link, and you come to a Slack channel. And in the Slack channel, you have basically all the citizen science we're doing, the announcement. You can interact with people all around the world.
Okay.
and learn how to use your telescope for science.
Okay.
So that's the way we kind of train the people. Okay, they
Yeah.
join the Slack and then they learn from each other, and then they start doing science. And when they do the science, when they do the observation, we have a pipeline that processes the data automatically. So if
Okay.
people have no interest in doing photometry, astrometry themselves, they basically send us the data and we do it for them.
Okay.
And then we publish this. And when we do a publication, the users are co-author of the paper
Okay.
and co-author of all the data that we submit. So we don't use the people, we involve them into the scientific method as well.
Okay.
So we have written papers in multiple journals, Discover. We observe one of the highlights of the last 2 years for us has been the observation of the DART impact, which was observable from Kenya, from South Africa, from Seychelles, and from Reunion Island. So basically, the southern tip of Africa. We have multiple telescopes over there, and they
Okay.
observe live the event, and we stream it live, and then we publish a scientific paper in Nature
Wow.
showing the impact from Africa, from the southern tip of Africa. And this was basically all the people who observed before, after, and during the impact are co-author of the paper.
Yeah.
So the cool things for people to know that they participated to understanding and validated that humanity can deflect an asteroid. And they still talk about that. In fact, it's a it's been one of the biggest success we have. We discover exoplanets, we confirm exoplanets with tests. We also like you part of the Exoplanet Watch. Um, and now we are focusing on satellites, artificial satellites, because there
Okay.
is a need to observe those and to monitor what's going on in space to see what's going on in terms of orbits, but also close approach and so on. So we're working on this. So
Wow.
all of
Nice.
that is being done by a network of there is 15,000 telescopes sold in the world. We have 2,500 users doing citizen science. So we're truly the biggest network of telescopes in the world.
Wow. Wow.
And we have published already something like 25 papers or something like that. Okay. And there is only 6 people working with me on this project. It's a very small group of people.
Okay.
All right. So what I'm thinking about, so what is one thing we're gonna do in September? We are gonna start thinking about where we're gonna send telescopes, free telescopes. They're free, but not really free. We want to send telescopes to groups of people who have an interest in
Okay.
using them for outreach, but also for science, for citizen science. Okay.
Okay.
So if that's something that interests your organization, we can start thinking about how we're going to do this. One issue is that those telescopes are relatively bulky. We have to ship them, and each country has a very complicated law, and sometimes for shipping telescopes, receiving telescopes, etc. For what we have done in the past is where we brought the telescope and we trained the people on site. So we had telescope in Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, in Togo, and in Namibia, and we brought those telescopes and we trained the people. And when I say we, it's not me. An organization did
Yeah.
that. Uh, if that's something that you want to do, we can do that with you. We could ship you one telescope and you learn how to use it, and then your organization will be in charge of shipping telescopes at different parts of Africa and
Okay.
teach the people how to use it. You don't have to be in person there to teach them. You can teach them remotely as well. We have done that in
Okay.
the past. It's very so that's one way. Um, it's truly the way we prefer because we are our focus is really to have the people to use the telescopes. We can also something I want to mention is that when you have a telescope, you can also do zoom when you use the telescope. So, for instance, you can have a night of galaxies and an evening of galaxies. So you observe galaxies and you zoom.
Okay.
So you stream live your observations to your network.
Yeah.
You can do observe, for instance, something, and you observe it for them, and they see it in advance. They see live the observations popping up on the screen of this classroom or the universities. Um, sometimes they have the telescope, sometimes they don't. And they ask our network to have a few people available. So they're teaching in Nigeria with full daylight, and they ask people on the other side of the planet in Japan or something like this to do observation for them. And these people observe during the class. So, for instance, he said, "Oh, we're gonna go to a galaxy," and he explained this is an M51, and then the person point the telescope to M51, and you can see the image of M51 popping up, and then the teacher kind of explained the spiral arms, or if there is a supernova, the nova, etc., etc. So that's kind of the things that we can do with our telescopes.
Good, good.
It's not only for science; it's outreach, it's education, and engage, connect them to the dark sky.
Okay, so what you're explaining exactly is exactly what we do here too. We use robotic telescope, okay, but we mostly use it for our research. We use this for research and astrophotography. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so those telescopes are at different parts of the world, so they we teach them how to use it for observation. But the ones we donate to them are pretty much cheaper, about
Yeah.
120 euros. So that one is for outreach in their communities. So, but with
Okay.
your own can still fit in into what we're doing. But
Yeah.
you said it is going to be used for outreach and also for research. So in that case, we have university groups. It's going to fit university groups. So,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a number of university groups across Africa that they have lecturers, um, physics lecturers that can handle that. I will contact them and discuss that further.
Yeah. So, and something you can do uh, in the next week or two is to
Yeah,
send an
I can
email
do it.
to
Okay.
all the people who are working university and tell the opportunity. I'm not promising anything. I don't know the number yet,
Okay.
but that's okay. And see if there is an interest in getting one of those telescopes in their classroom in the universities. And
Okay.
then you could use this telescope. So we ship the telescope to this professor. They use them in their classroom. We train them, but also then they're part of your network. So when you have a desire to do something about astrophotography and so on, you ask them to make the telescope available for your network.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this way, the kids in South Africa can see the sky in Morocco,
Yeah.
and you can have this kind of. So I don't know have a number, but I will say that we could easily find 4 telescopes to ship to you guys, 4 or 5 telescopes.
Okay. No
And
problem.
Africa is divided in 5 areas, if I remember. So
Yeah. Five.
let's try to find in each area
Yes.
the right person to
Okay.
get this telescope.
Okay. I will
Okay?
do that. I will do that.
And then so you can do an internal call. They can write a small summary. You deal with it. I will love you to deal with it because it's your network.
Okay.
And then you tell me, hey, we have those 5 people. And the reason that I chose them is because of that, and that. Or you show a small summary, what they do, the size of the school, how many classes they teach, whatever you decide. And you send us this. And then I'll
Okay.
try to find 5 telescopes for you.
Okay. All
Okay?
right. All right. I will do that. I will do
Is
that.
that a
I will.
cool idea for to start working together?
Yeah, it's a good idea. I appreciate it. I welcome it. And if I
Okay,
share it with
good.
them, they will appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, so what we want is people who really want to use the telescope. Like people who will use them. That's the most important thing. I don't want this telescope to be stuck in the some random place in the university and nobody's using them. So I
No,
want the
the people
teacher
that
to
I'm
be
working with,
super
the people I'm
yeah,
working with are very
engaged.
active. They are very active in citizen science. They're going to use it. They're going to use it.
Excellent. Okay, so let's do that. Okay.
All right.
And how is your funding? How do you fund funding yourself?
Okay. Now, that is actually very complicated. Okay, our organization started as a fun exercise. Okay, first of all,
Yeah.
I participated in the asteroid search in 20 that COVID-19 period 2020. So I got excited about it. So I started to engage people. Okay. So I recruited more people, trained more people. So I work. So I fund myself. So the people that I'm
Hmm.
engaging with, they have their own resources, so they fund themselves. However, we are also open to funding schemes if they are available.
Okay, so something we have done in some countries, we have been helping them to raise money for the telescopes or for their programs.
Okay.
So the way we do this, they put together, there's two options. You can do crowdfunding. I don't know how it works in some places in Africa, where people give $1, $2, or $10, and then all okay.
Okay.
We also have a program where we basically connect, um, write letters stating that we're gonna sell a telescope at low cost if we raise $1,500, $1,700, or we and you can submit a grant proposal to some embassy. European embassies, for instance, they have some program where they give $2,000, $5,000 scientific and educative project in the country they are located. Like the
Okay.
French embassy has that, the German embassy has this. I know that we sold some telescopes in India doing this, for instance.
Wow.
So is that something you can start exploring, maybe?
Yeah, I can explore
Second,
that. I can explore that.
yeah, another way we've been working, but this is really something I'm just starting doing, is that those companies that come in Africa to mine, to to access to the oil and so on, they have a very bad reputation. We're talking about Total, Shell,
Okay.
all of these European and American companies. Some of them are foundations, and
Okay.
they're trying to kind of show with the foundation they're useful as well for the local population and for the education system or in Africa.
Okay.
So that's something you can start investigating as well. You can look
Yes.
if those in each country, and that's going to take you a long time if you do it yourself, but the people in each of their country should do that and check if there is foundation, Total as a foundation, for instance, for education in Nigeria, and see if they will be interesting. There is a call for proposal, and in this case, we will help you by
Okay.
writing a letter stating that we support this project, and we can also provide some services for free, for instance, as part of this big endeavor. Like imagine,
Okay.
like I make up a story, but Total is buying like 100 for all the universities in Nigeria, while you are in charge of distributing them and training the people. That's your
Okay.
job. We will help you with providing the infrastructure behind the back.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
I will do that. I'll do the research.
Yeah, do some research. I don't know. I cannot do that because I'm too far away and I'm not don't know the country that much. But and then there is also the extremely rich people the diaspora we call those, who lives outside their countries in Africa, who lives in the United States and so on. And some of them make money or wants to reconnect with their country.
Yeah,
And some of them have
they
calls
do
like
that,
that.
but astronomy is not well, it's not a developed field in Africa. So many people have misunderstanding about it. So that's one of
Yeah.
the problems. It's only very few people that appreciate it. So that is why we want to, spread it in Africa, make people
Hmm.
be aware of astronomy, the importance of astronomy. That's exactly what we do. So,
Okay. I'm gonna let you go because I need to go to another meeting. But
all right.
we have a plan. We keep in touch.
Okay.
I'm gonna be in vacation next week. Uh, in the meantime, what about in a month we meet again?
No problem. No problem.
Same thing, 30 minutes. Put it on my calendar exactly in a month, the same day, the same time.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
All right.
cool.
All
This
right.
way we kind of keep momentum and we can discuss the progress if there is anything, and I will let you know what happened with this program of getting telescopes in Africa. I
All
will deal
right.
with that in the meantime.
All
Is
right.
that a good plan?
Yeah, it's a good plan. Appreciate this
Okay.
meeting. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate talking to you. And finally, you take care.
Yeah.
Good luck with everything. Bye.
Goodbye.